Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So in this video, we'll try and understand the GST exemptions applicable for the healthcare sector. Well, all exemptions in GST is brought about by way of a notification called notification number 12/2017, which was brought up way back in June 2017, which has a lot of entries for exemption. And one such entry is entry number 74, which specifies the exemptions applicable for the healthcare sector. So in today's video, we'll understand multiple such exemptions applicable for this particular healthcare sector. Number one is the provision of healthcare services generally by clinical establishments, basically hospitals and clinics, by paramedics, nurses, trained lab assistants, physiotherapists, by practitioners providing healthcare services to the public. There is no GST on these kind of services. That's point number one. Point number two, services provided by way of transportation of patients in ambulances from home to hospital, between hospitals. There is no GST on these kind of services as well. Number three, if a patient is staying in a room provided by the hospital for treatment or for recovery, and the rent of the room is not exceeding, that is less than or equal to 5,000 rupees a particular day, then there's no GST on the services provided by way of renting of rooms to the patients. And if it is more than 5K a particular day, then GST will be applicable on the room rent in that particular hospital. But irrespective of the rent, if it is more or less or greater than 5,000 rupees, if you are admitted in the ICU, intensive care unit, in the critical care unit, in the intensive cardiac care unit or the neonatal intensive care unit, irrespective of the room rent per day on the facilities used by the patients for these rooms, there's absolutely no GST on these kind of services. Coming to healthcare services, of course, healthcare services generally logically will mean diagnosis, treatment, care for illness, but it will not include those like beauty treatments, hair transplant process, plastic surgery. It will include anything to restore, to reconstruct the body back because of trauma, because of defects and other things, but it does not include beauty treatments. So for these beauty treatments like hair transplant, plastic surgery, etc., GST will be very well applicable for these kind of services. Coming into rehabilitation, counseling, therapy. If rehabilitation, counseling, therapy is provided by institutions which are a government registered, central government, state government, or registered under a particular trust of the Income Tax Act, then those institutions providing rehabilitation, counseling, therapy to patients, there will be no GST. So a private institution which is not a government institution, which is not a trust based institution, providing rehab, counseling, therapy sessions, GST will very well be applicable. But for those under the government, under the registered trust concept, GST will not be applicable. Coming to doctors. Now, a hospital may employ doctors as employees or may have a consultancy agreement with the doctors, and both these kind of doctors will treat the patients who come to this particular hospital. So as far as patients are concerned, they will not have to pay GST on these services, irrespective of whether the doctors are employed or arranged on a consultancy basis by the hospital. Coming to food being arranged in the hospital canteens. Now, if canteen services, basically food and other supplies are being provided to in-room patients or inpatients in the hospital, there will be no GST applicable for such services. But if the canteen is providing services to outpatients, to guests, to bystanders, etc., then GST will very well be applicable. Also, if there is some outdoor catering or catering companies providing services to the hospital, they will charge GST on the bills to the hospital. But then the hospital providing further food to the inpatients, there's no GST. Outpatients, of course, GST will very well be applicable. If the hospital is providing spaces for renting out, it becomes purely a commercial purpose. It is not a healthcare service per se, and GST will very well be applicable. Acupuncture, yoga classes, gym classes, aerobics provided to the general public are not in the definition of healthcare service, and of course, this will also be taxable to GST. Well, I hope I was able to make things clear through this particular video. If you like the video, you could show support to us by hitting the like button. If you want more videos like these on a regular basis through way of notifications, you could also think of hitting on the subscribe button. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and thank you.